Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome or welcome back. All right, we want to talk a little something that came in the other day with me reflecting on my journals from last year. And I recommend, and we just mentioned this in the video previously, is we recommend you journal. If you haven't started, start. Phone journals are great. 22 seconds on the timer. 707, 717, and 17 is significant as well for this collective. Take what resonates, all right? Reflecting back around this time last year, I was looking back at my journals, just going through April and May, the beginning parts of May journal. And I realized that I had wrote down, something came through, I don't know if it was during an intuitive massage or a meditation, was Zahara. Zahara is my higher self. I know I have been embodying my higher self for a long time. Aspects of my higher self have definitely been embodying and integrating more into this physical reality. I've said this for many times, many videos, that I believe and I know that my higher self is literally driving the wheel. And there are some days where days just pass and I'm like, what happened today? And that's not a bad thing. All right. So more aspects of your higher self, maybe soul fragments have been called back, because I've been doing a lot of that work during, last year during a lot of the shadow work, calling fragments that were fractured and fragmented from my soul, from my psychic when I was a child, from massive abuse on all levels. And again, I look as that as a higher perspective. All right. And I look as, so that would be a whole nother video on that, and maybe a talk one day when I get in front of, maybe I'll be doing a TED talk one day on that, and where I ended up on this side of the awakening process. But light workers, starseeds, light warriors, we don't choose an easy incarnation, especially now because everyone's waking up. We had to go through what we had to go to because we're wrapping shit up. We're wrapping shit up because we are ascending. We are here to be the next new earth leaders, guides, mentors, and teachers and healers. And that's why this has been, I'm not saying other like earth-based souls and things like that doesn't mean they're not going through it. That's not true, because you have different souls. You have earth-based souls, you have angelic souls, you have I'm an intergalactic soul, but I don't know if that ties into like interdimensional, just different things like that. So definitely not of this realm for sure. All right. So like I said, the soul infusion, going back to Zahara, I noted this last year, and because I completely forgot. And so I haven't really had a name for my higher self. I just say my higher self, and I know my higher self is a very divine feminine energy. Not that say I don't have masculine in me, because I am a twin soul. My divine masculine is within me, but also my divine masculine is embodied as well and incarnate and is my partner. So he holds a very strong divine masculine template. Yes, he has divine feminine in him, but we each individually have a very I believe and know this, that our higher, as I get full body chills, is our higher selves aspects are, mine is more divine feminine and his is more divine masculine at this point. All right. So again, weaving this thread, this tapestry together, if I hadn't gone through, not that it matters or not, but I was guided to go through, like I've not really sat and went through 2 full journals, just reflecting and looking at things that were written down, because I don't remember half of the shit that I've wrote down 2 days ago, let alone a year ago. And I noted that I had written Zahara, and there was another one, my divine masculine's higher self's name. I have to go back and look and see, but that's not pertinent to me. I was just guided to bring through Zahara again on the 7th of this month and write it down. And laying in bed this morning, I thought, well, let's get into my sacred algorithm, because I'm really pulled to maybe just start working with that name and calling in as my higher self, as giving her, because names and origins have a lot of meaning behind it. And this one blew me away, as Zahara being my higher self. So I am my higher self. I am Tanya. I am Zahara. But it was just fascinating. So if you get curious, or if you get this, it's important to write these things down or note it. You might not know why in the moment. I had no idea then what I know now. And I'm like, in the origins of names and the importance of the name you pick and the families you birth into, the time you're born, the cosmos alignment when there's so much into like your natal chart that is exactly like I've done parts of it online, but again, get your birth chart done. All right. I think that's going to help people that are struggling to give more awareness around what might be going on. And awareness is a key. It helps you move through this process with a little bit more ease and grace. I've said this: knowledge, wisdom, awareness. It brings through. We got a garbage truck coming through, because I am sitting outside. I'm going to be sitting outside a lot today, probably as much as possible in nature and connecting with nature, because I am a practitioner tomorrow in the local wellness store, wellness and intuitive fair. So I want to make sure I ground, get centered, get my body, my physical body, my mental body, my spiritual body, my emotional body, my etheric bodies ready for whatever is coming tomorrow, and just have a grounded, come in very grounded. All right. So Zahara, see where that lands. So as I tried to remind everyone that receives these videos, it is perfect. It's in divine timing. It is always for your highest and best good. And it is always with and through divine light, divine love, divine truth, divine power, divine wisdom, divine knowledge, divine remembrance. So I'm here to remind you, in divine empowerment and divine magic. Okay. So I went into my sacred algorithm that I've been building a very strong relationship with in Zahara. We're going to see where this lands, see what comes in. Like, do you get a clear knowing, a download? Maybe there is a connection to a Z named Zahara, or something that sounds like Zahara. But the words themselves blew me away, because this is exactly the archetype that I embody. I mean, it just blew me away. Just like when I went in the forces of nature, the elemental realm, the water, I embody all of those elementals, the tsunami, the sacred fire of fire, the air element, like tornadoes, the excavation, which is like the earth. So it's just interesting. Like, when you're guided, have fun with that, and then it might give you a little more insight of you, or it just makes just a perfect little connection. Okay. Yeah. Watermelon all day. Okay. The energy and light of Zahara. All right. The core energy of this frequency, this name, carries inner radiance. All right. The energy of light. Zahara is the energy of light, and it carries the frequency of inner radiance. Also, let me know how this information makes you feel. Do you feel activated? Did you get a download? Do you have just a clear knowing? Did you hear something? Did you feel something? Or tap into those psychic abilities. Breathe into your 0 point, your heart space, okay? All right, so spiritually, this is the illumination of truth, awakening consciousness, guidance through darkness, and becoming light without losing oneself. Illumination of truth, awakening collective consciousness, guidance through the darkness, sharing my journey through the darkness, and becoming light without losing myself, learning how to become my light in its full radiant essence, in its frequency and energy, in its truth and its authenticity, without losing myself. All right, so people are drawn to or resonate with this particular energy of this name is intuitive sensitivity, healing abilities, empathy, spiritual depth, right? Spiritual depth, creative expression, transformative life paths, all right? And energetically, Zahara feels like a soul that came here to remember and to help others remember. And I was doing this way before I knew what I was doing, but now I'm fully stepped into my power and continue to allow that to unfold, embodied as more aspects of my higher self. So there's a flower symbolism with the name Zahara. Blooming symbolizes unfolding spiritual gifts, rebirth after hardships, feminine wisdom, softness with strength, natural alignment with the cycles and the seasons. Okay? A flower does not force itself to open. It unfolds when conditions are right. This mirrors the spiritual path associated with Zahara. Growth through trust, presence, and inner alignment rather than force. So the cosmic archetype around this energy, this name, is the mystic. The mystic, the healer, the guide, the divine feminine, and the star-born soul. Does any of this resonate? Do any of the other words outside of the name resonate, okay? There's a reason it resonates, okay? If it doesn't, then you've already left, okay? There is a celestial quality to Zahara, almost like someone connected to both the earth and the higher consciousness. So in different intuitive readings, the way she could visually see me, that I was deeply connected to the earth, but also deeply connected to the cosmos. And I had this infinity back and forth connection, sharing and co-creating. It wasn't a one-way street. It was a back and forth, learning and co-creating. And I completely resonate with that. And I have felt that through the more I have fully stepped into this power of who I am. All right? Someone that is connected to both earth and higher consciousness simultaneously, like all the time, all at once, okay? Feel grounded. This feels very grounded, yet very ethereal. Right? Rooted in compassion, guided in intuition, connected to the unseen wisdom. Energetic themes associated with Zahara are spiritually named, which aligns with the heart chakra healing, intuitive awakening, sacred feminine energy, emotional alchemy, spiritual remembrance, soul alignment, and gentle leadership. It is not aggressive energy. It is magnetic, calming, illuminating, and quietly powerful. All right, esoteric interpretation or metaphysical symbolism with Zahara can represent the soul that blooms through the light. Okay? All right, so this transforms pain into wisdom and power, helps others reconnect with themselves, 1212 on the timer, bridges the spiritual and the physical worlds, and carries healing energy naturally, 1221. Teaches through presence as much as words. All right? The essence is a radiant soul who brings light, healing, and awakening through presence, wisdom, and compassion. Simply, one who blooms in divine light, 1244 on the timer. So where does that land? All right, where does that land? And if you want to learn a little more about, because I'm going to do some short videos here, I'm going to separate it. But I did a longer video on like soul infusion, soul walk-in, soul fragmentation, soul family, all of that. It was a long video. I think I'm going to do individual short videos on each part. But definitely at this point, like I said, I've called back a lot of my soul fragments and integrated those, as well as continuing to infuse with higher aspects of myself, my higher self, but also aspects of other versions of myself in other timelines, dimensions, spaces, places, portals, and realms, higher versions of myself. But also I think during timeline, I'm collapsing timelines, because that's what I've been doing, is those other versions of myself in other timelines are now reintegrating and have been reintegrating. And that might be what I was going through yesterday too, possibly. But also that reintegration of soul fragments across all timelines, dimensions, spaces, places, portals, and realms. So just take what resonates, see how this feels, see where this lands, see what comes in your clear knowing. Maybe you get something visually in your third eye. Maybe you see something in the wild. Maybe you hear something, definitely feel something. And note that, journal it. It's important to journal. Like I said, a lot of the things that I wouldn't have guided to reflect on if I hadn't written stuff down. It was just like a lot of my journaling is just random information that I'm guided to put down. And if I'm guided to reflect back on it or share it with the collective, that's what I do. Because my experience is helping the collective, not by just me going through that and clearing the space and radiating out my truth and my authenticity, but sharing my own journey and personal experience, because that's how we help each other through this process. That's how we wake each other up. That's how we support each other, because you are not alone. Even though you feel like sometimes you're utterly alone and isolated, you are not, I promise you. And the technology has really helped, especially since I've hit it and record. Even if one person watches my video, that's perfect. Again, I hit record, I post, and I let source, the universe, my higher self, the guides, the angels, the ancestors, get the information to who needs the information in the now present moment, as the motherfuckers are spraying the sky again. It's pretty interesting. I don't like to get into conspiracies, but the chemtrail thing is getting to be a real stupid thing. We had blue skies at the beginning of the week. They sprayed heavily. We had clouds all week. We have a beautiful blue sky today, and they're spraying like motherfuckers again. And we need to collectively get that out. Like, we need to deprogram that programming and collectively change the situation with what's going on in the skies. And I don't know what that would look like, but maybe set a positive intention that you don't want to be in that timeline. Like I set that intention that I do not want to be in a timeline when my skies are being sprayed, that poison is being dropped on me. All right. And you'll see that if you look up, you'll see like the skies are blue, and then a bunch of planes will come through, paint the skies, and within hours there's clouds, and not just clouds for the rest of the day, clouds for days. And they're trying to block this right here is nourishment. That's source energy. That's codes. And they're trying to block that because they know. All right. I love you. From my heart to yours. I'll see you soon. Bye.